Hey everyone, excited to be back for this week's edition of Frequently Asked Questions for Commercial Real Estate. In today's video, what I thought I'd do is talk about a concept known as back of napkin analysis. Now you may be asking, what exactly does that mean? Well, it's a method utilized by investors and developers to act as essentially a filter to determine whether or not looking at an opportunity and getting the numbers and potentially submitting an offer is worthwhile. This saves them a significant amount of time with opportunities that just may not align with what they're looking for. Now, before we dive into this video, I would really appreciate if you could like, share, and subscribe to this channel. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm and ensures more and more people can hear these concepts and topics related to commercial real estate. So now that you guys have done that, you guys should have, let's go ahead and dive into the content or the meat of this video. So again, back of napkin analysis is really determining what the potential value of an investment opportunity is once the redevelopment or the development has occurred. Now, in another video, which I'll post up here, we discuss how you value commercial real estate investment property. And that's what's known as your NOI, your net operating income, divided by your cap rate, gives you what an investment opportunity could be worth. Now, in order to perform your back of napkin analysis, you're going to need 4 potential variables to consider. The first is, what is your current rents? Your second variable is going to be what your current expenses are. Your third variable is going to be what your projected rent is. And then your fourth variable is going to be what your projected expenses are. So in order for us to really understand how this works, let's dive into an example and then walk through it so you guys understand what I mean. Now, let's imagine that a unique opportunity comes across your desk. It's an office building. It's roughly about 60% vacant, but it's in a great area and there's a lot of potential for redevelopment of the property and then turning it around into a new opportunity. Now, the way this currently is set up is that the current rents for the building are $100,000. The current expenses are a percentage of those current rents, which is roughly about 40%. So let's say the expenses are $40,000 and your net operating income currently sits at $60,000. Now, after just some quick analysis of different properties that have sold in the area and some comparable properties based on the condition and whatever else, you determine that probably an appropriate cap rate with the amount of risk and vacancy associated with the building is roughly 10%. So you determine that the initial potential value of that building is $60,000 divided by 10%, which gives you roughly $600,000 in value. Now that you understand that, we're going to dive into what the potential value of that opportunity could be given your back of napkin analysis. So now let's imagine that if you were to renovate the property and get it ready to go, you believe that if you get that building full, your projected rent for the property would be $150,000. And your projected expenses, which let's say is roughly 40% of the operating expenses or the rents, is roughly $60,000. So your net operating income for the new projected value of that building is $90,000. Now, because you've renovated the property, because you've stabilized it, now it becomes a lot more of an attractive opportunity for investors. And therefore, you think your cap rate for that building could be 8%. Now, $90,000 divided by an 8% cap rate gives you a value of the building at $1.125 million. So the difference between what the current projected value or the current value is versus the projected value, if you were able to turn it around, is over $525,000. So that's a very unique potential opportunity for you. Now, in order to determine whether or not that's going to be worthwhile for you to pursue, there's going to be a lot of variables involved. You're going to have to determine, number one, what your holding costs are going to be in order to get that property filled, what your renovation costs are going to be, all the other fees associated with closing on the building and then potentially leasing up the building. So there's going to be brokerage fees involved. And that's where you really dive into the more in-depth analysis. But if you see a sizable spread like that on your back of napkin analysis, you can determine and say, okay, maybe this is an opportunity worth pursuing a little bit further. So that's something that investors and developers do at a very high level to determine whether an opportunity is worthwhile for them. If you are an investor or a developer in the Louisville metro area and you want to find opportunities like that, feel free to reach out to me. I'm a commercial real estate agent in town. I'd be happy to help you. My number is 502-536-7315, or you can reach me via email at Raphael@CREgroup.com. Again, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. We'll see you guys next week. See ya.